welcome back to another episode of the Zero Empty Spaces podcast, episode 81 with Design Center of the Americas resident artist Siana Lakhan, here from our beautiful space here at the DCOTA building. Without much, for those of you that are not familiar with Zero Empty Spaces, myself, Evan Snow, my business partner, Mr. Andrew Martineau, started an initiative to activate vacant commercial real estate spaces so talented artists like her can have space to create and collaborate affordably outside their homes, which has created a myriad of win-win-win benefits with the first 34 spaces we've done over the last 7 years across 5 states, with over 900 artists having come through the program.
Wow.
And it has changed hundreds of artists' lives thousands of times over. But the point of the podcast is to connect you with the talented artists like her that make the program what it is. So without much further ado, can you start off by introducing yourself, your artist name, Sila Art, and sharing a little bit more about where you're from?
Sure.
And how you got started in the arts.
Sure. Siana Lakhan, Sila Arts. I started painting for funsies, really. Ever since I was a kid. I've grown up in Trinidad. That's where I'm from. And it's been part of our culture. Color is part of our culture. Creativity is part of our culture. And so we've always been around it. Trinidad is known for arts and for Carnival, which is a cultural, colorful, festive event. And so growing up, part of school was education in arts. Not necessarily formal, but learning about how costumes were made and things like that. And so I always kind of picked up on that. And then as time progressed, it was part of schooling. So you'd paint, and it was an elective, I guess, would be the equivalent here. But it was just something to do, you know? As I grew up and migrated to the States, I took it also in college. And I think that was my first real dive into art, being exposed to other artists and actually learning about art history across different countries, different cultures, and in humanities, seeing different museums and things like that. So that was my big formal exposure to art. And then the classes were just something that I fell in love with. So I kept going to galleries and exposing myself to it.
Where were you taking these classes?
So I did my bachelor's at Jacksonville University, which is a small private university in North Florida. And I had a professor who just was really good. He was very laid back, taught technique, but that was it. Everything else you explored on your own. Color, types of canvas, different mediums, all of those things, he would just kind of introduce you to and then leave it at that. And so we really got to experiment and really got to get into it. His biggest thing was feel the canvas. And I what does that mean? Until you actually get into it and you're like, okay. So you took it for what it was. Okay,
well, we're certainly feeling it now, and we're very proud of how far you've come from those humble beginnings.
Me too.
So, being originally from Trinidad, having that exposure to Carnival and the color and the vibrancy and the culture, how do you feel your Caribbean heritage has shaped the way that now in your current practice you use color, nature, femininity, and storytelling in your work?
I think my work is the Caribbean culture. Color is, I think I exude color just naturally and personality wise, but it is in me. I can't help it, you know? I see things in color. I see people in color, you know? So it's a very, very vibrant part of my work. And I try to kind of keep those essence alive through it. So vibrancy is probably the biggest part of it.
How about any of the femininity part?
So I personally think females are amazing. I think we are super incredible humans, any female. My mom is probably a very good, and my main inspiration, I think. But in general, I just admire females, all females of all sizes, races, and colors. And so, because I feel that, I guess also being female, but also I feel that it should be celebrated and it should be exemplified. And growing up amongst so many phenomenal females in my life, I want to exude that through my work itself as well. So that's a big part of it. I am just in awe of females in general.
And I see some of this exuded in this piece over your shoulder here with some phenomenal quotes and anecdotes. Love is kind, love is patient, watch me rising, always protects, always hopes, always perseveres. And those are beautiful messages that sometimes we need reminders of, and art's a beautiful, outlet and ability to be able to have those reminders and to have that in your life, in your office, in your house,
space,
on your boat,
right,
wherever you would like some of this,
wherever you seek solace,
wherever you like to see this art.
Sorry, no, this is actually the piece that pretty much got when I professionally started was through this piece. This is actually what I call my therapy piece, because it is when I was going through a really, really hard time in life. I didn't have an outlet, and I didn't have an outlet that would quiet my mind. Like, I did have a very supportive family. I did go out to the gym. I did do all these things. But when I was going through my divorce, which was a crashing kind of like shift in my life, I needed something to quiet here, So I did this piece, and it was pretty much everything that was here and just here. I just literally, I felt the canvas and it just poured out. And so when I did that, I realized this is where I don't want to say it was my vice, but this is where my piece is really. This is where my therapy is.
Did you say therapies?
This is my therapy. Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, that's what I...
All right, we might have to trademark. You might have to trademark that. We
yeah.
might have to borrow that.
Yeah. That's my therapies.
Okay, I like that. Thank you very much for sharing.
Yeah.
And art can be, I like to say, many different things to many different people.
Right.
Art could be interior design. Art is history, but art could also be, literally that therapy, that therapeutic outlet, that reminder that, you can rise above, you can get through this.
Yeah.
Or whatever it may be for
whatever you need it to
whatever you need it to be. If you're the viewer, if you're the painter, if you're the collector, so on and so forth. I also like to remind people that today's prices might not be here tomorrow, so purchase today. But we'll get there.
Straight up Hormuz.
Woo! Too soon. You said that art made your heart happy, and that art therapy helps you work through emotions and turmoil. How has creating helped you process life or reconnect with yourself, maybe now after the therapies?
Right. So I am a busy person. Not just like literally, but up here I'm a very busy person. There's always a list. There's always things to do. There's always people to call. Things to plan. So sometimes that can be just heavy or just overwhelming. So art in general will be that place to just, and usually when I'm painting or I'm creating anything, it's a very quiet, there's nothing else going on but that canvas, but that piece. And so that is what I use it for. That's where I go to. It's my go-to, really.
Amen, as it should be. Your work is described as bold, colorful, and connected to feminine divinity and nature. What themes do you find yourself returning to most often, and what could you maybe show us with some of the work behind us here?
So, landscapes, I think, are reoccurring. Florals are also a big reoccurring thing for me. I don't know why, because I'm not a big flower person. I don't like getting flowers. It's not my thing.
Okay.
I'm a plant person, but I'm not a flower. But I will always either start off as a flower or evolve into a flower eventually. So the Pollock type style is also another thing. And this was an experiment. It's something I did because I had extra paint that I needed to like get rid of. And it has been the most popular piece. It's been the most requested piece. It's been the most, people are drawn to it for some reason. But for me, it was an experiment. But I also do enjoy doing it. And those are probably the two you'll see a lot is like nature and splatter art pieces.
And I notice, do I see some stones?
Yeah, so this was a broken beer bottle. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Broken glass. Sorry.
Broken glass, yeah.
I was thinking they were crystals and there was positive energy. Okay, no, you got to get the...
drinking while doing it and broke the bottle.
You got to get the materials out somehow. Well, speaking of Jackson Pollock expired pieces, you listed Georgia O'Keeffe, Jackson Pollock, and Henri Matisse as inspirations. What do you connect with most in their work, and how have they influenced your own visual language?
That's a good one. Yeah, all right. Jackson Pollock, I like for the confusion because it's chaos, but it's a calming chaos. And if you look at some of his pieces, they come off the canvas because they're so thick in paint. But there's so many layers to it of like levels of chaos. So I really like him for that. But when you look at it, like if you look at it up close, it's, you know, chaotic. But then when you look at it far away, it's almost like, it makes sense, you know? Mm-hmm. So I like him for that. Georgia O'Keeffe is the opposite of my Jackson Pollock, right? So Georgia O'Keeffe is my calm, my straight lines, my clean order almost, but a calming order. She's more, and she also gives a lot of, I don't know why, but every time I see her paintings, I feel it's a very feminine anatomy in her paintings. That's what I get from it, you know? Also, I just think she's extraordinary. And Henri Matisse is his juxtapositions of things on canvas I find interesting. It's also the simplicity of his canvases I find interesting because it looks like anybody could do it, but then when you try to do it, it's like, well, this isn't quite what I set out to do, you know? So it's, with him, I feel like he allows me to be that childlike, imaginary, playful piece. And so those are the three that I pull from for different, usually for the core of my pieces.
It's interesting that for the masters like Matisse, from artists from the previous generation or previous generations, sometimes, right, it looks so simple, or you go to a museum and you see these like amazing oil paintings of like the most accurate, realistic scene that it seems, to your point, it seems simple. And Andrew and I were at the either the Boston Museum of Art or the Virginia VMFA, the Fine Art Museum in Richmond, and I said, "Wow, how did they get this good?" Right. And he goes, "Well, you know, back in the 1800s, there was nothing else to do besides paint and perfect." So yes, it does seem simple, but there was the thousands of hours that go into it to get to that point.
Yeah, I went to the Rembrandt Museum in Amsterdam, and that was also because you don't see a lot of these artists too. You get introduced to them in textbooks or in print or whatever, and you've seen the final piece.
Correct.
What I really, really enjoyed about the Rembrandt was that you saw the 50 other thousands of pieces that he sketched and threw away or was stuck to the wall, and like all the trial errors, failures that he had to do before he came to this one or two pieces that made it out, you know?
That we know and we've seen.
Correct. But I kind of enjoyed watching the chaos and the failure to be like, all right.
And the last one, not that we're reminiscing over art and travel stories, but we could do a whole podcast there.
We could do, that's a whole separate thing.
When I was in Amsterdam and went to the Van Gogh Museum, which actually does not have as many paintings because the main ones, you know, are obviously in the world museums.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But it was the sketchbooks, to your point, that were so fascinating. And now, actually, from that experience, I've become a fan of the artist sketchbooks, right, to see the concepts. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I might be mistaken, there's a Basquiat sketchbook exhibit, I believe, coming to the PAM.
Yeah.
which that should be very fascinating.
That should be interesting. Yeah.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
We do field trips, and we had a nice tour of the NSU Art Museum that was exclusively for our artists with curator Bonnie Clearwater, which was phenomenal. And we plan to do more things like that for the artists to help provide more insight, inspiration, connectivity, community, and stuff like that as well. So
do them on Fridays.
We'll put that in the request bin.
Yes, please.
So how would you describe your creative process when starting a new painting? Do you usually begin with a feeling, a color palette, a subject, or something else?
So it depends, because sometimes for a commission piece, I have no choice. It is what the commission piece is. I do enjoy commission pieces that say full creativity. And then I'm like, all right. But if it's just me creating for me, it's a vibe. Whatever I am, I guess a feeling if you want, or whatever's going on up here that I need to get out. And that usually is a color or a feeling or a sentiment I need to just get off of my brain. So I would say, yeah, that's the vibe essentially. It's whatever is up here that needs to, because I don't know if this is everybody, maybe it's just me, I don't know. But there will be a reoccurring thought. Like lately for me, it's been a lot of loss. So I feel like that's just the reoccurring theme lately. So I have to get that out, because it's in there and it's building up and it's building up and it's building up, and now it's starting to weigh on me. So I have to get some piece about loss out. Now, will that be a dark piece? Will that be a light piece? I'm not sure. But that is the theme for the next piece that's going to come that I have to work on. Yeah.
And if somebody listening and would like to commission you for a painting, what does the process look like? What could they anticipate?
So usually it's a contact, or they can reach me via the social medias, or my information is on several QR codes throughout the booth. And you would let's talk art. Like you reach out to me and you say, hey, I'm thinking of commissioning a piece. And then the questions start rolling. What size? What do you want? Where's the room going to be? Where do you want to hang it? What is the feeling you want to convey? We have those discussions. So we talk art first. And then based on that conversation, we can whittle it down to whatever. Or if you directly see a piece, then same format. I would like to commission this piece, and then that's how it was. But
and if they want to contact you and they don't see your QR code here, what's your website, email, social media?
Sure. So you can catch me on Facebook and Instagram at silaart.llc. And that's SILAART.LLC. And again, all of the contact is on there. So email, all of that is through those social links.
Who's Boot IQ?
So yes. So that was a project I worked on years ago. Something very similar to Zero Empty Spaces, but in community spaces. So I lived in Texas for a while, for like about 10 years, and it was very starved for activities, networking activities, socializing activities. And so we did a Boot IQ, which was like a booth, and you could come in, and it's like a think tank space. You could discuss business ideas. We would throw events. It would just be a networking space. So it was a way to connect people because I found that being in and around a military base, people wanted to do things, but they didn't know someone who, like if you wanted to throw a party, but you wanted the clown to come or somebody who made cakes, and they couldn't find anybody. So everybody was going to the one store, the HEB, which is the local grocery place, to get everything. Whereas if you had this networking space, Suzanne, who makes cakes, and Henry, who's the clown, can all meet and kind of converse. Because it was such a small community, nobody knew everybody. And everybody was doing stuff in their own spaces. There was no communal space.
Where was this?
This was in Killeen, Texas.
Okay.
It's right outside of Fort Hood Army Base.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Wow.
So I started that. and I was doing events through that, and I just kept because Google wants your first child to change anything.
Right.
So,
Right.
so, sorry if they're sponsors. I'm sorry. Take that back.
Shout out to our sponsor, Google. Sorry, Google. She takes it back.
Just
No,
kidding.
just kidding. We like
Don't
to have
cancel
fun
me.
here in the studio and on the podcast. No, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I guess that leads to my next question. What made you interested in joining Zero Empty Spaces at DCOTA?
Oh man, I've been a fan for a while.
I looked up on the email. You applied in 2022.
Yeah, wow, all right. I've been a fan for a while. I think this concept has always, like I said, it's been a concept of mine. So I didn't know anybody who was actually doing it. So when I found you, and I thought this was phenomenal. So fangirling really hard. And then I, got on board and was following for a while. I'd been to a couple of the galleries. I went to Gulfstream a couple of times.
Did you come to the one in Flagler Village next to Wells Coffee? I think
that's up north, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was around the time you applied.
Right. Yeah. Right. And then a friend of mine, she had one at the Dolphin Mall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and she was also like, "Have you?" And then I was like, "Yeah, I have actually been." Zara is her name?
Yeah.
Her brother. Yeah, so she put me on too. Yeah, Asif is her brother. So so that's So yeah.
Wow. She's a very talented artist.
Yeah.
And one of the art educators of the year.
Yeah, correct. So she was another one who put me on, and then in following and keeping up with the Zero Empty Spaces when DCOTA opened, I jumped on it immediately because it was perfect. Right
over here.
Correct. It was right within the area. It was the right time. It was a good space. It was all of the stars aligning, and I jumped. The first chance I got, I jumped. So that's how I got into that.
So far, so good?
So far, so good. So far, so good. I fell in love with the space. And I think having, and this may allude to other things, but having a space, because before I live in an apartment. I can only do so much in an apartment. And there's no way I'm showing my things in an apartment as a, living as a female. Like, I'm not going to have an open gallery, And I like to say that, like, I make apartment art because my canvases are not giant canvases for the most part. They're stuff that can fit in a smaller space because that's a space I have to work with. And so having a space outside of my home was relaxing, but also taking kind of that overwhelmingness away because it wasn't encroaching on my home space. And it was also forcing me to be in a workspace for my creativity. Because at home, I'm on the couch, the TV's on, I can paint, but then I'm like not into it because it's something in the background to do. It takes me 6 months to finish something because I'm not focused on it. And then you get distracted by 10,000 other things. But it was like getting dressed in the morning, coming to work to finish a piece with dedicated time and space. And that meant the world to me because then I didn't have the distractions and I didn't have the excuses. There wasn't anything to like not work on anything, you know what I mean? So, and then having a space to show, a safe space to show, that means a lot too. Like, even when I'm not here, someone can walk through. And I've had people who I've never met before was like, hey, I like this piece, or hey, can we talk, let's talk art. And I was like, primo, like, let's do it, So I would have never had that from my apartment,
How about the other part that you've done very well with your classes and events?
Yeah, and that's another thing. So it was, again, I can only host, even if I've used this space to kind of combine my networking dreams as well. Like, it's a place I can entertain but still open up a world of other things to people, you know? So I've had events here, networking events where other small businesses have come through to see if they maybe want to buy art from, it doesn't have to be me, it could be just in general. But also, yeah, I've gotten commissions from those things because people have come through that I would have never had the opportunity to host or put them in that environment where they feel, you know, artsy, you know. And even some other artists have benefited from those events where they've come through and like, oh, you know, I like another artist's piece, and you know, they've connected with those artists as well. So that actually is also very rewarding because it's not about me at the end of the day, but it's to network and to put people together. And that was the whole point initially of when I had the Boutique IQ idea, you know? So it was to see those two things come together is really nice.
If someone is listening and they want to attend events in art spaces, aside from the networking event, what were some of the other events that you put together?
So I did, I've done the group, oh my God, what is this?
Paint and Sip?
The Paint and Sip, thank you. Sorry.
I've
done the Paint and Sip on different levels. I've done brunch with the girls on a Paint and Sip, and I've done a kid, not a Paint and Sip with the kids, but like a painting class with little kids for them to get. Usually the space can hold like 6 to 10, but we've kind of, with this space, I'm able to open it up a little bigger than that group because, again, I have the room and I have the facilities to do it. And so we've done 3, I think. I've done 3 various groups in the space. And it offers like that quiet space. And we, again, let's talk out. How big is your group? How many people do you want? What's the vibe you want to give? Is it a brunchy? Is it a kid session? Like all of those things, we can have that conversation. But now I have the ability to accommodate it and the facilities to do it.
And now we have over there in the room where everyone's hanging the pieces now and the blue carpet. So that's now our dedicated event/teaching space. So yeah,
Nice.
we have some tables. I brought them to Gulfstream.
Right.
I'll bring them back. But so you can now have more space, and you could do more than 6 to 10 should you
Excellent.
choose or should you need. And from what I saw, those events were very well attended, very well engaged. Also, shout out to your social media crew
Yes.
and family.
My team.
For
Love my team.
for helping with the behind the scenes, not just today, but at some of the events. They've put together really great
Good
recaps.
videos. Yeah.
So you know, family first.
Yeah.
But I would certainly encourage anyone that's listening that might want to do a team building event with their company.
Companies,
family reunion. You know, we're right next to the Fort Lauderdale airport. If you're coming in town for a bachelorette party and you want to do something, if you have a board meeting and you want to have more creativity, you know, or you just want to like have your people, your community around art, you know, coming to the space is free. If you want to do a workshop and involve supplies, materials, your time, then of course there's a fee
to that. But it's like also a good precursor to like when you do Art Basel or when you're coming into towns and different things, you can definitely start here before you pick up on the other things. Or like you said, to get a taste of something before. It's a good stop. It's an indoor space, which is in Florida in the summer, a great idea.
And beautiful.
Like it's great for pictures. It's great for just a day, like you said, the gallery is a free event just to come through, but it's a great way to start or an added activity to something.
And we have 40 working artist studios here.
Oh, wow. We've gotten bigger.
Yeah, we expanded from the previous space we were in, where she started. Big thanks to the Design Center of the Americas, the DCOTA building, ownership and management team, the general manager, Brad, the marketing director, Ayla, the public relations team, Susan Penrod, who helped bring us into the building.
Nice.
Forever grateful for them. You know, we're really excited now with also DCOTA is working on even adding new amenities to the building and a gym. And they have a lot more employees working here in the offices now.
Okay. So
there's going to be more programming, more things, more events
to come. That's exciting. Yeah.
So definitely check out DCOTA, the fall market coming up. They have other events, continuing education events, so on and so forth, networking events that people rent out the DCOTA for. You can come meet her and her other talented studio mates the third Friday of every month now.
Yep.
We are doing our monthly open studios where more of the artists are present at any given time from 4 to 7 p.m. every third Friday. The space is open daily, Monday through Friday, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. that you can peruse at your convenience. There generally will be multiple artists here any day because there's 40 people here, but more of the artists are here at the open studios. And artists have, just for the record, artists have 24-hour access. We're here recording this on a Saturday morning, but the concierge Joey, who's been here, I think longer than Brad, over 15 years, great guy. He's here. He'll greet you at the front, tell you about the building, show you to our space. So we're here at 1855 Griffin Road in Dania Beach, right off of 95 and Griffin, right off of 95 and 595, right next to the airport. Can't miss it. Connected to the Le Méridien Hotel. So we would certainly encourage you to join us.
Yes.
If you do know an artist that's looking for a studio space, we added more. A couple of them have since been claimed. We still have a few left. So opportunities to join us relatively affordably. And the last question that we like to round up here on the podcast that you touched on, but I'm going to be niche specific. What do you like the most about having a studio to create in outside of your house?
Oh, man. So many things. So many things. The most, I think it is the dedication and time that is allotted now, because I am not, money is a motivator. At the end of the day, money is a motivator. And this is not it's a rent. You have to pay rent. And so anything that I have to pay for, I need to get my money's worth from.
That's right.
And so now that I am, it is a space that I have dedicated to my art form. I am now, I don't want to say required, but it's like, hey, you're paying for this. Get out and do something. Get out and make a piece. And so now I'm like, oh, you know what? This month, this is the piece I'm going to work on. And then I bring in my social media and he gets it out there, and I try my best to keep up. I do, but that in itself is a job. Yeah. But that's a different set of creativity I am not well versed in yet.
Okay.
But it is something that forces me to work and forces me to think about art. And so now I even look at art differently, because now I'm not just looking at art for the beauty of art. I'm looking at art like, how'd they do that? Maybe I want to try that. And it's a creative space that, man, some of these artists I see and I'm like, man, I want to be like that one day. Like it's an inspiring space, and that I like. I like that it's constantly keeping me going. And I've seen my growth in my own work, in my own pieces. I see because now I have to up my game. And that in itself is worth its weight in gold.
And not that you couldn't have been inspired at home, and not that you couldn't have created, but right.
All the things. I have been inspired at home. I pay all the time, but who's going to see that? You know what I mean? Like, who's going to... I mean, yes, you can get inspired off the internet. Yes, you can do all of those things, but it's an internal thing, right? Like, if I have a dedicated space that I have to come to, a quiet space for me to purposefully work, I think the purpose in it is what I like.
Intention.
It is a purposefully designed space for creativity and collaboration.
Yeah.
And if you're not about that, then it's not worth your time. Like, I'm not saying it's not worth it, but that's how it worked for me. It was giving intention to my purpose and my collaboration. Correct. That's what my favorite thing about it. If I was to put a one-liner.
Amen. And there is a rental fee associated with it. I believe you have a 8 feet by 12 feet space, 96 square feet.
Yeah.
So this is $288 a month with the utilities included.
Right.
Insurance.
Yeah, right.
We take care of the permitting. We take care of the maintenance. We take care of the build out and all that, so that the artist could just apply, pay, show up and create,
Right.
and not have to worry about all of the other things. If you were to find your own space for thousands of dollars a
right,
month,
right.
if you find your own,
with the commission on top of it, with the cuts that come out of it. And I think that's what really makes it, it's like, it's truly a space for artists
correct,
to work
correct,
and to benefit and to flourish from.
correct,
And you have to work it.
correct.
I'm not going to lie. You have to work it. You have to be the one to innovate the events and bring the traffic in. You have to be the one to get the word out there about your stuff.
100%.
And I think that's also why I like the space, is because I can do those things.
Correct.
Without my couch being in the background or without my
Right.
laundry that I have to worry about. You know what I mean? Like, I can professionally do those things, be inspired to do those things.
Correct.
In a space that looks like I'm serious about it.
Correct.
You know?
And also, you don't have to. So, like, when you have a high barrier for your art of a rental cost, or you have a studio manager or a gallery, then you have to make art to sell.
Right.
And now your barrier is getting so high. When the barrier is lower,
Right.
you can truly focus on making the art that you want to make,
Right.
so that it can be shown to the world. And that's a good point that you made, because while we do not allow this to be an inexpensive storage or gallery space, we do require the artist to be here a minimum
Right.
of 1 day per week, work on a minimum of one piece of art per month. Somebody can walk in here when you're not here, see your work, see the QR code, contact you, have one of your studio mates help facilitate, and they can leave with the piece. But any business, and every business in 2026, 2027, 2037 has to do some marketing.
Yeah.
And the artists like yourself that have engaged, or that have taken steps to marketing, engaging your family or otherwise,
Right.
I can tell you with the utmost sincerity and confidence, the artists that have put the most into it, 100% continue to get the most out of it. And we've had 900 artists come through the program. Some of them like, oh, I didn't sell anything. Like, well, how many times did you post on your social media?
Right.
How many times did you invite your friends, family, follow?
Right.
And you are literal proof of doing that with the events that you've had.
Right.
And you've transacted sales. So we're super proud of you.
Thank you.
We're super grateful.
I'm super proud of me.
Amen, as you should be.
No, and no, but it was also, again, that aspect. Like, I love to create, yes, but talking about myself is something I have a hard time doing, which is why this is my first one, and I'm still sweating, just so you know. But like,
we'll edit that out.
Yeah, no, but it's something that I'm grateful for, because it did push me in the directions that I needed to go in. Like, I live in an apartment. It's full of artwork, yes, but one, I was running out of space that nobody saw, and then also it pushed me to develop that side more, the event space, the social media marketing, like just the marketing in general, to get it out there, because like you said, nobody was going to see it if you don't talk about it, you know? So it does make it worth it. And I have seen not that I wasn't able to sell art from my apartment.
Sure.
Yes, I can. Maybe 1 or 2 pieces a year to 3, 4 pieces or more. Like, in the year that I've been here, I've sold a lot of pieces and been commissioned to do a lot more. So that is something I'm like super grateful for.
Love it. So glad to support you.
Really appreciate the
Encourage you to come.
Yes, come check me out. I'm usually
check her
here.
out. Open studios.
Yep. Fridays for sure.
If you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to us. info@zeroemptyspaces.com, at zeroemptyspaces on Instagram. I'm at evansnow13. Coming soon to downtown Minneapolis.
Yeah, I saw.
2 weeks at the end of the month. We'll be opening that space, followed up by downtown Berkeley, California, and a beautiful...
Check you out.
Right there on Main Street on Shattuck.
Wow.
In the former Half Price Books. Big thanks to Downtown Berkeley Association, Visit Berkeley, who are helping the first time sponsor us to come, which is phenomenal, and make it a real win-win-win. And Gordon Properties and Gordon Commercial Real Estate for providing the space for us. It's been a really great collaboration effort. That's one of the really cool things as we are going to Texas. That's why I was curious.
Yeah, where in Texas?
Dallas, Fort Worth, and
It's good area, too.
Arlington,
Okay.
Addison, that area, Dallas Metro.
Nice.
It's been really cool and great and rewarding and fulfilling to be invited and asked to go to all these different parts of the country to help them
develop this program. Yeah,
every city has a downtown that needs a little bit more love and revitalization in this post-COVID era.
Right.
So stay tuned. More, and then we're preparing to raise capital and start pitching to really take this thing to the next level and start doing 100 spaces and eventually 1,000 spaces and really make this a thing. So we truly appreciate your support and tuning in. We truly appreciate your participation.
Thank you.
Super grateful to have good folks in here like yourself.
Yeah.
And if any of this resonated with you, drop us a note, drop us a comment, all the things.
No, I would also like to say I truly appreciate, one, the opportunity, and for the growth. Like, just giving me the space to grow. And that is something that is not said. So I would like to also give you the flowers for really making me, and I think a lot of other artists, better.
That's the rewarding and fulfilling part. We didn't get into this initially to make the most amount of money possible. We got into this to solve a problem. We've done the best with what we've got. And thankfully, my partner, who's also from Trinidad, as many of you know, Andrew Martineau, is one of the most resourceful, creative geniuses I've ever met, and have had the privilege and fortunate nature of befriending and partnering with.
Right.
So we've been able to do this, all of this, the two of us doing everything. And it's truly been our life's work, our purpose, our mission. Very rewarding, very fulfilling. And we're glad to continue extending that when it's good folks like yourself that appreciate it. We did open a 501c3 separately. We are finally starting to get some support, which is great. Shout out to Kelly Gin, Catalyst Fund. We just got a nice donation.
Neat.
But if you'd like to support, and you mentioned and inspired this, and I normally don't mention this on the podcast, we do have merch, and we do have a store, and it is at zeartistspaces.com. You can find our store. We have free shipping, water bottles, shirts, all the stuff. The artist aprons as well.
Yeah,
it's a nice one.
I was looking at, actually.
So any questions? Don't hesitate to reach out, and we'll see you at the next event.
Yay!
Cheers.
Bye.